Hello and welcome back to the Brompton Guy. Today I cover an episode that I never expected to cover this early on into my Brompton journey. That being the chainstay bridge welds completely failing during a 100k training ride. And no, it wasn't one weld failing, but both welds failing on the P-line's rear titanium triangle. This left me with so many questions, as the bike is only under 1 year old. Firstly, what caused the fail? Would Brompton cover it? What does a warranty repair even look like, and how long will it take? Well, I'm here to bring you this episode now because my journey is complete and I can finally share all the details, images and outcomes with you today. So with that said, let's dive into it and cue the intro.
He's the Brompton Guy!
So yes, my Brompton P line was pronounced dead on July 19th at 5:22 PM when this unfortunate event took place during a routine training ride. The incident happened while climbing an average hill out of the saddle. I heard an audible pop and then all of a sudden the bike changed from a stiff, rigid machine to a floppy fish instantly. During all my cycling days, I've never felt anything like this before and found it hard to process what actually happened. I thought at the start maybe a spoke blew or some kind of insane instant puncture. I just wasn't sure. It forced me to the side of the road and it was obvious it was a major problem because I could see the whole bike flexing at the rear triangle. It simply had no structural strength to it. This made me flip the bike over to inspect further, and this is what I was greeted with: a catastrophic failure of the chainstay bridge welds. As you can see from the photos and videos on screen now, it's clearly snapped at both welds. Anyone who understands metal work would pretty much know this is pretty darn hard to do. Instantly, my worry was, I can't fix that. Wait, will Brompton even cover this, or are they going to try and blame me? I took a moment to then compose myself and was beyond lucky that the first car to come past me on an isolated country road stopped and asked if I needed help. And for the first time ever, my answer straight away was, yes please. So to cut a long story very short, I got dropped off at the nearest train station and found myself on an unexpected train home with so many questions. It was during that train ride home that I had reached out to a trusted friend and expert with all things metal for his third-party opinion on the damage for my own peace of mind. And this was the response I got. Ouch. Broken on both sides? It would be very interesting to see with the paint removed. It looks to have failed at the welding edge on each tube and torn part way around the stay on the left side at least. The welding doesn't look brilliant. Definitely should not break like that. Chainstay bridges are under surprising amount of stress, and it is a bit surprising they used a flat plate instead of a tube on the new rear triangle. This of course gave me great relief and hope that this was a manufacturing fault and nothing to do with me. I know I ride my bike hard and do stuff that most Brompton users wouldn't do, but surely it can't just be down to hard pedaling. I honestly just kept thinking to myself, are Brompton going to cover this or just tell me I've overloaded it? But I only weigh around 85 kilograms, so kept telling myself it just wasn't possible. Not even if I had the maximum 10 kilogram load could my weight be a factor into the damage. So naturally, the next day I contacted Brompton chat support and they set up a call with me with the warranty department, who were going to call me in about 3 days time, which, being honest, I felt was reasonable. During the time, I cleaned the bike to get better photos to supply Brompton and made another discovery. My plan was to strip the triangle down so I could send it to Brompton and they could simply send me a triangle, and that should speed up the service, whilst also being practical for them. It was only at this point I discovered when I was taking the triangle off that the rear hinge bolt had completely severed in two, whilst damaging the spindle in the main frame. Discovering this actually made me feel better because it started to make me understand what had actually happened. The audible pop I had heard on the ride was the bolt snapping, and with the sudden shock on the rear triangle welds caused them to fold under the pressure. With this new information, I contacted my friend once again to inform him, and he responded with the following. Could explain it, but I would hope the rear triangle would be stiff enough for that. The amount of times I've seen the hinge bolt snap on the steel frames, and the outcome of that is only to see it be a little bit bent. Anywho, a couple of days passed and I got a call from Brompton, and in fairness, the support call was brilliant. The man, who I won't name just in case he's made to feel uneasy, he explained how unusual the fail was while also being open and transparent, which I honestly really appreciated. He did also call me a legend, as they've never seen damage like this before. He explained that I could send the bike off and they would send me a box and arrange its pickup and delivery at their cost. I went on to explain that I'd already stripped it and hoped for speed that we could simply send the parts required. He took on this request, he took the request into account and said it's not normal but might be possible. He explained he would need to check with a couple of folk and get back to me. Days passed, more than I hoped, and the verdict was to send it to have a full inspection and service, because if I fitted the parts it would void the warranty, which I felt was fair, but just wish at the start he was like, honestly, just send it and it will save you time in the long run. But I do blame myself for having know-how and thinking I could speed it up, because at the end of the day it should be serviced properly as it's in warranty. As said at the start, the bike died on July 19th and was picked up Friday the 9th of August for service. Knowing it wouldn't get to Brompton till Monday 12th, I was praying for a quick turnaround, and to my surprise, I had an email Tuesday 13th, which was the next day, saying my bike was ready to be shipped back to me. I honestly couldn't believe it. It arrived back Wednesday 14th, looking pristine and with a lot more work done to it than I expected. Here is what Brompton repaired / replaced. They replaced the rear frame and spindle, the 4-speed sprocket, the chain and the clamp lever. They also included a full service, which included brake pads, all the brake cables in and outers, truing of the wheels, and a full strip down, greasing and clean of the bike. I'm also convinced they replaced the rear derailleur, but it's not stated on the form. Needless to say, I was honestly just blown away. Now, would I have got the same service if the bike was over a year old? Who knows, but I honestly can't fault the company for its customer service. I felt supported through the whole journey, but only wish that they would have just told me from the start. It would have saved time and a lot of effort if I didn't send the bike in, if I just sent the bike in and not requested the parts. But I also do appreciate that I would be here on the other side saying, I don't understand why they couldn't just send me the parts. And that's it, that's my Brompton repair experience. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story and maybe let you see a side of Brompton many of us don't actually get to see and what the results are from this type of damage. I find it also funny because just before this happened, I was about to release my big 7-month review on the Brompton P line video, which obviously now I need to go back and tweak. But it has left me wondering, this happened to me only 8 months in. Can it happen again? Could the same bolt fail? It's leaving me with questions like, should I change it to the titanium bolt from TI parts, or was it simply a manufacturing fault? Only time will tell, but I can say with certainty one thing. It doesn't put me off Bromptons. I still maintain the Brompton P line has to be one of the funnest and best valued bikes on the market. And that's obviously a little spoiler for my review coming up. I'm sure you have lots of questions, and yes, of course, I am lucky this happened at slow speed, because at high speeds, this would have been a very different outcome. With that said, feel free to reach out to me in the comments with any questions, and as always here in The Brompton Guy, thank you so much for your continued support, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up so it shares to more like-minded Brompton users. Thanks again for watching and enjoy your night.
He's the Brom.